Hey guys, this is Dale Pekel back with another training video. In this session, I want to talk about the integrated webbing harness as an attachment platform for a personal escape, personal safety, or versatile rescue system. Now, I really don't want to get into the harness itself because I've uploaded a video on that quite a few years ago that covers it quite thoroughly. And I'll attach a link to that video in the description of this one so you can review it. But what I do want to cover is the carabiner that's incorporated with the system. This is something that I didn't cover in the previous video and really what I want to focus on in this one. So this is a carabiner that I currently use with the turnout gear on my volunteer fire department. It's the Sterling Osprey. This is a aluminum key style oval shaped carabiner. It's offered in both a twist lock as well as a 3-stage or triple action auto lock that you see here. Now, I've talked about this in the past. Anytime that you're integrating or pre-attaching your system to your belt or harness, I'm a big believer in the triple action auto locks just because it adds another element of safety and redundancy and minimizes the chance of that gate accidentally opening up when you're loading your system. Now, you guys kind of bear with me here. I'm shooting this video one-handed with my phone, but how this gate opens or functions in its 3 stages is you push up on the sleeve, that's the first stage, rotates the second stage, and the third stage is to squeeze it. Okay, and you can see on the end that's that key style. The lock itself is spring loaded, so it just locks shut once you let go, and that's where that safety and redundancy comes into play. So what's the big advantage of the carabiner, and this one specifically? Well, again, you'd have to watch that previous video, but I talk about that, the A-frame element of this harness. And if you look where in between where my thumb's moving, this left loop and this right loop, once this carabiner is loaded, forms what's referred to as an A-frame. It's shaped like a triangle or an A. And I'm a big believer in having a small or short A-frame. The advantage of that is it helps you to load your system more quickly and more efficiently. So if you're using your hook as a last-ditch anchor, you want that contact point from the tip of the hook to the attachment point on your belt or harness to be as short as possible. Allows that hook to be loaded faster and allows for a safer, more efficient bailout itself. If you had a really, really long, extended A-frame, okay, then that hook can get out of your reach, which is a major safety issue. However, the problem with a short A-frame, and if you watch that previous video, you'll see that when you don the harness, these loops can get drawn tight to your body and they can be very difficult to pull out and extend. By having the carabiner in place, it keeps the loops connected and allows you to bring them to that apex and load that and attach your system. Okay, so that's the big advantage of it. Now, this Osprey has a nice symmetrical arc, okay, to this oval on both the top and bottom of the carabiner. The other thing it doesn't have is a captive eye. Now, typically, I'm a promoter and believer of captive eyes within your system because it helps to keep everything on a neutral plane. It helps to load the main axis or spine of the carabiner in line, and it minimizes the chance of you cross-loading on the gate. However, the problem with a captive eye in this setup is it would be prohibitive of the two ends of the A-frame coming together at the base apex, which is what you want. So this carabiner is really nice. It's nice, smooth, easy rotation, nice self-equalization, and that's one of the reasons I went with it. Now, by having this carabiner on, I still have enough distance to keep the mouth of the opening to my gear as wide as possible so I can don my gear quickly and efficiently, but I don't attach the lanyard until I have my gear in place. If you look at this, it's the lanyard to my descent control device, the lever. This X is what I use for landmarking or indexing on my connection point, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. If you connected that prior to donning your gear, I'll try to show this one-handed, but if that was connected, you can see how that left loop is tight and the right loop has a lot of slack. What that would do is close this front flap and prohibit you getting into your gear. So I don't make this connection until I have my gear donned and the flap is closed and sealed up. And I think you're going to get a better perspective of that with what I'm going to show you next. All right, let's take a look on how everything comes together. Pants are up, suspenders on. Flap is wide open. Again, that's the advantage of this carabiner. It allows me full expansion of the A-frame to keep that flap fully open, to get the pants up to my waist. Now to finish, I have a Velcro strap with a postman connection. Some gear have a zipper, but I'm going to grab this carabiner and rotate it up. Allows me to close that flap, connect up the postman strap, and carabiner just sits down in a straight line axis. Now I don't know how well you guys can see this black on black, so I'll try to come in a little bit. On the left and the right, these are the ends of that A-frame, okay? It's tight. I want that tight tolerance, but because that carabiner rotates, it gives me that expansion ability. But now once it's on, it's tight enough to keep this carabiner in line along that long axis. I had that X, I referred to it earlier, that's my landmark or my index mark on where I connect up. I need that X to face me, and I'll show you that after I get the system out. I open up the carabiner, connect in, and I'm ready to go. And again, because this system is tight in my pocket, this keeps everything taut and tight, okay? Short tolerances. I'll always make this connection, guys, every time I put my gear on, even if I'm not going on a fire call. If I'm going on a car accident where I know I'm not going to use my system, I still facilitate, I still make this connection to create that muscle memory. Okay? Whether it's before you get in the rig or while you're sitting in the rig, riding the call, I'm always connecting up. And what this allows me to do, being an integrated, pre-attached system, the fastest, most efficient deployment. If I'm going to do a left side anchor, right side rollout, I reach into my pocket, I'm going to quickly locate the hook, the way it's set up. I do a hand exchange or a hand pass, hooks in my right or my left, and then I grab the tail end of the webinar rope with my right, and I'm ready to roll out, okay? If I was to do a right side anchor, left side rollout, I reach in, I grab the hook, it's already in my right hand, and then I punch out with my left hand. Again, that's when you're using your hook as a last ditch anchor in a worst case scenario. So this is what it looks like. Reach in, hook comes out, there's your pass, and literally, guys, with this setup, in seconds, I'm outside the environment, outside the window, I'm reverted and starting my descent. The biggest advantage of that integrated or pre-attached system. Taking a look at that X again, okay? That was my landmark or index mark that I referred to, okay? So I know I'm connecting to the right side of that lanyard to descender. What it does with this lever is it puts everything in line so I don't have any twists in my system, and then it's very easy for me to grab hold of the lever and start my descent. That's that quick indexing. You'll see the tolerances are tight because of that short A-frame, and I've closed up the gap between the descender and the hook, okay? This hook stays within my reach when I extend all the way out. I actually even have room to reach out even further. So that keeps those tolerances tight when I'm using this hook as a last stitch anchor, okay? Whole setup works really, really well. Again, if your turnout gear will allow it, will facilitate this setup, think about it, especially if you're on a budget. Because again, with this carabiner and this webbing harness, you can have this attachment platform in place for less than $30, okay? I'm going to tell you, it works great. It's very comfortable, it's very safe, streamlined, low profile. You just have to customize everything. I'll have a link to the carabiner, a link to the webbing video so you can review both to see if it's something you're interested in, okay? But I hope this setup or this video helps you guys and you found it beneficial. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.